Welcome to World Missions University's Teaching Techniques, Ministry 113. This is Lesson 4, Learning Styles. This is the third lesson regarding the scientific theory behind how people learn. We're going to explore a controversial subject, that of learning styles research. A learning style is a student's preferred way to absorb, process, and comprehend new information. First, there are many theories which include 3 different learning styles, some 4, some even 8 different learning styles. We're going to explore the 4 which are currently most common. In preparation for this class, you should read Teacher and Staff Development, Book 2, the chapter entitled Thinking, Learning, and Teaching Styles. By the time you finish with this class, you should be able to list and describe teaching methods peculiar to each of the 4 primary learning styles, to apply diverse teaching methods to each of the 4 primary learning styles, and will complete a personal learning style inventory. The first learning style we're going to explore is that of the visual learner. This style tends to be the largest group. Visual learners have a preference for seeing new information rather than hearing. What works well with this kind of learner is depictions of information that could otherwise have been presented in words, such as maps, visual aids, graphs, diagrams, or handouts. It is not necessarily still pictures, videos, or PowerPoint slides if those slides tend to have text information like these, although these can include visual depictions of information. The next type is auditory. This type of learner prefers hearing information. They prefer getting new information by lectures, discussions with peers, recordings, or email in chat style. You may even hear an auditory learner talking or reading out loud to themselves in order to hear the information. The read-write learner is a little like the visual learner in that they have a preference for the written word, depictions of information in written words, such as PowerPoint, where the information is often written rather than illustrated, manuals, written lists, and text-based internet. Finally, we come to the most uncommon type of learner, the tactile or kinesthetic learner. This type prefers things they can touch or manipulate. They prefer experience and practice, such as moving, touching, and doing, and active exploration of the world. One of the reasons this one is so rare is that as teachers, we tend to focus our lessons in methods that ring true for us individually. Since most people are visual learners, we focus our lessons in visual methodology and tend to ignore other preferences. If we require our students to sit down, shut up, and watch, this leaves out the kinesthetic tactile learner, who will often find another activity, often naughty, to keep their attention, excelling at misbehaving rather than at scholastic achievement. This type of student rarely achieves without a teacher who can sympathize with their plight and provide lessons that they can more easily grasp. Occasionally, we will see a student who excels in more than one learning style. This student can be Type 1, which can switch from mode to mode depending on what they're working with. They can excel at 2, 3, or even 4 almost equal preferences. This type almost always excel in the classroom. Type 2 are not satisfied until they gather information from more than one mode, creating a deeper and broader understanding. So how is this information going to affect your teaching? First, your lesson planning must include as many learning styles as possible in each lesson in order to include all your students. However, current research indicates that tailoring lessons toward learning styles does not help the performance of the student. Where it does help is teaching the student to learn in more than one style, providing lessons in multiple learning styles, breaking old study habits, becoming more multimodal, and increasing learning capability. One of the lessons I learned fairly early in my career as a professional teacher is this, and it can often be a hard pill to swallow. If a student does not learn, does not meet your objectives, whose fault is it? It's tempting by all involved to blame the student. Many want to blame the education system, but almost always, when I am faced with a student who doesn't learn what I am teaching, I believe it is my fault. I haven't found the right way to present the information that will ring true to that particular student. I have to work harder and with different methods in order to find the way that will get what I'm trying to teach into their head and their heart. In the case of the salvation message, we cannot overlook presenting the gospel visually with illustrations and puppets, by the preached word on a street corner, in written articles in magazines or online, or in manipulatives such as Jesus and a mustard seed or a grain of wheat. For the next lesson, read Teacher and Staff Development, Book 2, the chapters entitled Building a Positive Learning Culture, Lesson Preparation, Course Planning, and The Teacher and His Lecture.